Good evening, welcome to New Horizons. If you do have a mobile phone, we'd like to put it on silent, please, thank you. Right, huge welcome to TRUTHJUICE Dave, happy to record from a hospital visit with the creation, God and property. As the blurb says, a complex subject. Covered tonight, a creator, our creator, and our relationship to it, him, her, our sovereignty, if we have any, us as property. Are other entities clamouring to claim a stake on us? Who might they be? Could there be advantages in being aware of any of the above, or not? Let's find out. Please welcome TRUTHJUICE Dave.
Good evening. Thanks for coming. Beautiful weather out there. I don't know what you've come to listen to me for, but here we go. The last time I was here, I can't remember how long ago was it. Anybody remember? 6 months. Has anybody not seen me do any talks? Right. Is anybody here for the first time? Right, my path has took me on a journey, has took me in and out of just about everything there is, and it's got me to this point now, and I never ever thought in a million years that I would be standing here on a pulpit preaching the word of God. Honestly, goodness me, no way. I mean, it's more than 6 months, I think it's, yeah. But anyway, there's no way before Christmas this year I'd have thought I'd be doing anything like I'm doing, but I'm doing it, and I'm getting results. And it's this sort of stuff that started me off on this journey. I mean, one of the first talk, or the first talk we'd done, was on subliminal messages within films, advertising. This slide, can you all see it, by the way? Can you all see it clearly? This slide is of a point of sale item at Bargain Booze in Litherland, near to where I live. And there's a subliminal message, obviously it's for kids, it's gobstoppers. And if you have a look at the camel, the back of the camel, you can quite clearly see he's showing his testicles. Now this is aimed at 4, 5, 6, 7-year-old kids in an off-licence, where they're supposed to be selling alcohol and cigarettes to adults. So they're obviously aiming this at kids. There's no other reason for it. And if you have a look at it, you've got a camel with a big pair of testicles, and it's called Camel Balls Extra Sour. Well, if you look at the word sour, it looks like sex from a distance, but anyway. And then on the bottom left, to the left of the big circle of feeding, it says sin-free. It's actually sin and then gluten-free, but it says sin-free. And of course you've got the camel's balls, which are the gobstoppers, which are chocolate-filled, or chocolate-coloured, on the inside the white. And if they suck even harder, you'll get to the red stuff in the middle. It's a bit sick, isn't it? What a sick world we live in. But I just wanted to bring that to your consciousness that if you want to have a look at me talk, it's up on the internet. I don't know how many people have watched it, but I've moved on since then. And it's brought me to this situation now. How many here believe in God? How many don't believe in God? So it's about 50-50. So, and then how many are undecided? Well, I've decided to. Well, first of all, what you need to do is take a think. First, get yourself one of these books, by the way, and get yourself that book. Right, that's the Royal Law by L.O. Blake. Habeas, the guy in London. When I seen his talk, I went and bought it, and it sort of put me on the path of wanting to read that. First of all, you've got to think about what your interpretation of God is. right? I think the last time I spoke, it was critical mass, and it was quite a big turnout actually. And somebody said there's only one God in the Bible. There isn't. There's hundreds of gods in the Bible. There's hundreds of gods on the earth today. Let me try to explain what a God is. One of the things is creation. Now, when a God has created something, it has the absolute right and power to create laws for its own property. And also, it has the absolute power and right to enforce its laws upon that property. So, they're the properties of a God. So, there's a lot of free men on the land. Anybody a free man on the land here? There must be one. Okay. Is there any sovereign men here? Sovereign free men on the land? Does anybody know what a free man on the land is, by the way? No, does anybody doesn't know what a free man on the land is? You've not heard of free man on the land? Free man on the land is a consciousness that's going around at the present moment and has been for the last 10, 15 years, where people are saying, no, I'm a free man, I don't follow your laws. And they're getting pasted in the courts and they're ending up in jail. And does anybody not know about the person? Please say so now. Does anybody know what the legal definition of a person is? Does anybody not know? Sorry. The legal definition of a person. Right, the legal definition of a person is, can be summed as this: an object of duties, liabilities and rights. That's the legal definition of a person. Now, you ask most people and say, oh, you're a person, they'll say yes, without even knowing what the word person is. Now, there is such a thing as a human person. Right? There's no such thing as a man person, but there is a human person. There's a natural person, a legal person, a bankrupt person, a private person, a public person, and so many other kinds of persons. Now, a person, actually, if you go to Noah Webster's definition, and most of the definitions in Noah Webster's dictionary he got from here. And essentially a person is a mask of an actor on a stage. So if you say you're a person, you're saying you're a mask. Now, you're not a person, you're all men and women, old, young, whatever. However, you have a person attached to you through a document called the birth certificate. It's a legal fiction created when your mum and dad went and registered you with the Crown. Now, the Crown, strangely enough, is not a person, right? Don't think the Crown is a person. Only persons can be prosecuted and brought before the courts. So the Crown cannot be brought before the courts. The Crown is above the law. The Crown makes the law. Now, your person was created the day your mum and dad went in and registered your birth with the Crown, or government, or whatever you want to call it. I prefer to call it the Crown. And they created this person, which is the document. Now, because it's created that person, it has ownership rights to it, so it can make rules up for that person, and it can enforce those rules against that person. Now, so we have God the Creator, who's created man in his own image, after his own likeness. Both man and woman created them both. Actually, if you go to Genesis, is it 1 or 2? It says, on the 6th day, God created man in his own image. Come, let us create man in our image, after our likeness. Both male and female, he created them. And then, Genesis 3, I think, he said, the Lord God then created Adam from the dust, from the ground, and breathed into his nostrils, and man became a living soul. So at the point when Adam was made, which is the second, it could have been the third creation of man, but certainly the second creation of man, Adam was not a man anymore. He was a living soul. And so are all you. None of you are men and women. You are living souls. Now I can go into greater depth about that, but it's up to you to read and interpret the Bible the way it's supposed to be. All the churches, the organised churches in the world, are not telling you the truth about the words that are in this book. Right, the word human does not appear in the Bible, ever. The closest thing we have to it is, he commanded me human. It has persons, it has men, it has women, it has males, it has female, but the word human is not there. Why is that? Well, the earliest interpretation of "hue" means the invoked one, the one that's beckoned. So let's have a look. Yui, Navid, nice to see you. Yui, Yui. Huey, you go to Huey when you're trying to invoke someone. Well, that's Hugh, the invoked man, Hugh man. That's your Human Rights Act and your Declaration of Human Rights and Freedoms from 1948. Nowhere does it say man, it says Hugh man, which means the invoked man, the invoked person man. You've got no rights whatsoever as far as the Human Rights Declaration is concerned. Neither have you got no rights as far as the Human Rights Act is concerned, and the next load of nonsense that they're going to be back coming down the road with, it's a load of nonsense. What I'm going to reveal tonight is that great man of sin. Has any people who've read the Bible, surely? Who's read the Bible? I know you have. Anybody else? Right, yeah. Are you aware of this man of sin? Right, my interpretation, and I haven't read the whole Bible, don't think I'm an expert, I am not, right? But my interpretation of the man of sin appears to be something that we have, and the Jesus consciousness cannot come back until that man of sin is being revealed. I'll reveal that to you as we go along. Now, I don't know whether Jesus was an actual man walking through 2,000 years ago, or I don't know whether it was a consciousness that was on the earth at that time. But if it was a man, he was certainly a fantastic, spiritual, loving man. And his sayings and his deeds were fantastic. And I don't think anybody can argue with that. Every one of you here knows the Ten Commandments, do you not? Can we leave the questions till later on, the second half, if you don't mind? I've got loads to go through. So we all know the Ten Commandments, don't we? Well, what's the first commandment? Let's have a look. Shall we? I'll tell you what, we'll go into this first, right? Anybody here own their own car? Please put your hand up if you do. Does anybody here own their own house? Well, I've got news for you. You don't own anything.
You're just a registered keeper. Yeah. Oh, stop that.
Right. Who owns the car and who owns the house? Well, I thought it was the DVLA, but guess what? It's not. Because your God, the United Kingdom is your God. Because the United Kingdom created you, right? But your God knows that there's a superior God, and the United Kingdom knows it can't own anything.
United Kingdom created the person.
That's right. Yeah. No. Yeah, but if you act like a person, you are a person.
That's true.
Right? So, I mean, look at Superman, Christopher Reeves. Everybody thinks Christopher Reeves. Superman, he wasn't. He was a man. Or a living soul. Now, your government and the Crown recognises the existence of the superior creator of all things. The only thing that it owns is the title to the land. Doesn't own the land. No. Why do you think it's so hard to get shuttered gypsies off the land? Right? They don't profess to have title to it. They say, no, we're just travelling through, just passing through, we're going to stay here and dwell here for as long as we want. And then you get obstropolous councillors and all the rest, and politicians say, oh, we can't have them doing that. It might wake the people up to what's going on. That's what that's all about, but they still have to go through the process. Unfortunately, the travellers, the gypsies, whatever you want to call them, or whatever they want to be called, don't know the law in here. If they did, when they settled in a place, they would stay there. And nobody would bother them. Right? So, the state own your car title, the state own your TV title, the state own your title. They don't own you, they own your title of the person, Mr. Jerry Rafferty, or whatever the case may be. Right? That's what they own. That's why it says on your birth certificate, cannot be used as evidence of identification, full stop, Crown copyright. They own the title to that person. You are a partaker in a fraud. When you use that name, you are partaking in a fraud, and you are turning your back on the real creator, whatever that is. Whatever that is, whatever that God is, you're turning your back on the creator's laws, which are in there, by the way. Right? That's us all, isn't it? That you have something like that on your YouTube videos, don't you? Well, there's another one. Right. Who and what is God? Are there more than one God? Do you believe in God? I've asked you these questions. So yes, the God that you serve is the United Kingdom. And it's under a bigger God called Europe. Right? Because, have a look on your passport. It says European citizen and then United Kingdom passport. Right? I don't know when they changed them. Rob Bollocks did have a better idea than what I have. But you are a citizen, the property of the European Union. Oh, sorry, your title is the property of the European Union. You are mind controlled. That's what government means, mind control. You're all under mind control because you all pay taxes, you all drive cars and buy road tax, you all get an MOT, you all pay your council tax bills, you all pay a fine, you all pay a parking ticket, you pay taxes, you pay this, that and the other because you are serving your God, the United Kingdom, and its superior God, the European Union.